What if mental health was not really a mental problem? What if the current approach that we're using is too narrow and too limited? That's what I'm going to suggest to you here. I believe that what we refer to as mental health is actually an emotional problem. That's my experience after nearly 20 years of helping people with general mental health, things like anxiety and depression. And I find that it's unresolved emotional issues that are actually leading to what we refer to as mental health or mental symptoms. There's so much more going on with people rather than just one aspect. But if we look at it from an emotional perspective, you can see that what we're dealing with are fears, worries, stresses of all sorts, all kinds, and their terror, fears about the past, fears about the future, maybe regret from the past, and worrying about what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to assume that since you're listening to this, since you're here with me today, that either you or someone that you love is struggling with what we call mental health issues. So I've put together a group of introductory videos touching on various aspects of these problems with how I see it. I'm a big advocate that knowledge is power. So the more that we understand something, the less we have to fear it. And I do believe that mental health can be a very frightening area to be living in. If you're afraid of losing your mind, or that your mind is no longer working for you and it's really affecting your ability to be able to interact with people and function in your life, then that's a very frightening and disturbing place to be. But I do think that there's a better approach to take. I prefer to take a much more holistic approach to how people are experiencing the challenges in their lives. And I want to incorporate their physical and their emotional well-being as well as their mental health. So the first video I've done in this little group is all about kinesiology. And it's there for people who've never had kinesiology before. It's my main modality, and it's through kinesiology that I have had so much experience and learned so much about people's mental and emotional well-being. I explain where it came from, how muscle testing works, and that how when we've discovered the real core of the problem, the root cause of the symptoms, then how we make the corrections to the body or the mind, and certainly clearing lots of emotions. The second video is about stress and how it affects the body and the mind. So I go into explaining the fundamentals of fight and flight, and most importantly, how to get yourself out of it. If we deal with stress early on and nip it in the bud, so to speak, then you'll find that you don't deteriorate down into more serious symptoms like anxiety and depression. Now, the third video in the series is all about the difference between the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious mind. You've probably heard of these, and I do wonder if you find them confusing and you don't know the difference between them. So that's what the third video is all about. And when you understand these different layers of the mind, then again, knowledge being power, you've got a much better understanding of yourself and your behaviors and where they come from. And I think you'll find that really interesting. So the fourth and the fifth video then goes into anxiety and depression. So I look at the difference between them, but the similarities between them, and why some people have one or the other, or potentially both. So again, knowledge is power, but for knowledge to be truly useful, it has to be implemented and it has to be practical. So in order for you to implement the knowledge, to apply that information, I've created in each section little videos that give you practical hints and tips of things that you can do for yourself ways that you can support yourself using the knowledge in each video so that they're actually practically helpful for you in your day-to-day struggles. So welcome to my series on mental health, emotional well-being, and please let me know how they work for you. Are they relevant to what's going on in your life? Have you found them useful? And any areas where I could improve and do better. I really appreciate that. So good luck. I wish you well. And as always, please let me know if there's anything else I can do to help. Thank you and take care.